Welcome to another Community Conversations. I'm your host, Ian Parkinson, and I have with me today Selena McLean-Moore, Director of Economic Development for the City of Medicine Hat, and Al Sharma, Manager of Business Investment. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's going to be some interesting times in the next few years in Medicine Hat with economic development. So, Selena, what brought you to Medicine Hat?
Well, I'm a longtime resident of Medicine Hat. I moved here when I think I was 12 from a small community in Saskatchewan, like most of Medicine Hat, and I've been here ever since.
So, what's your track record since leaving high school? Like, what attracted you to economic development?
Well, I have a business background,
Okay.
and I think I really fell into the profession almost accidentally. I started working for Community Futures Entrecorp, which is a small business service provider, and from there, I think I started developing my networks within that circle, and moved from a few different positions with different organizations, and ended up with Palliser Economic Partnership, which is a regional economic development organization in Southeast Alberta, and from there on to the Government of Alberta, which I spent almost 20 years.
20 years with
20 years with Jobs, Economy and Trade, the department.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you know your way around the corridors of power.
I don't know if I'd say that, but yes, I'll take it.
Okay. So Al, how long have you been here and what brought you to Medicine Hat?
So Ian, I just joined the City of Medicine Hat Economic Development Department in July of this year.
Okay.
And when this opportunity came along, I was very excited because I saw what's happening here in Medicine Hat. I have a business development background. I've been in sales in the private sector for the longest time. I believe I'm an entrepreneur at heart myself. I understand the investor. I understand the business person's language, and I can speak it. Because I've been in their shoes. I know how difficult it is to build a business, to establish a business, and to make a business successful. So the fact that this was an opportunity for us to put Medicine Hat on the world map, I found it very exciting. And working with Selena and working with the team, I think we've got a vision for the city and for the economic future of the city.
So, besides the two of you, how many others are in your economic development team?
So there's seven altogether, including us.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So we've got so myself and Al, and then we've got 3 economic development officers who all have a specific focus. We've got somebody that works on our contracts and our grants, and we also have a coordinator that works with our rural renewal program.
Rural renewal program. Okay. So then, you're not just focused on the City of Medicine Hat. Does your focus reach outside of the city limits?
So we our main focus is Medicine Hat, but we do acknowledge that it takes a region in order to grow. It takes a regional collaboration in order to grow. And so we do have certain initiatives that are regionally based. The one that I just mentioned, Rural Renewal, is it's a municipal immigration program.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've also got a regional strategy that we are working on at this point with there's 5 other communities in the region that are a part of that as well.
I've heard the 2 local MLAs, Danielle Smith and Justin Wright, talk about corridors, and they've, on a very high level, mentioned various businesses. But is that one of the attractions here, that we have so much transport infrastructure, for a better word? Is that a card you can play?
Yes,
Can you answer that?
Definitely the strategic location of Medicine Hat. So we're close to all major Alberta centers.
Right.
We're not too far away from Vancouver. Edmonton, Calgary are like a day's drive. We're very close to the US border. So the fact that we're located in this southeast corner of Alberta gives us a locational advantage for companies that would like to do business within Canada or overseas, transportation through Vancouver, going towards the east on the Trans-Canada, or going south to the US. So it's an ideal location for business.
So it's almost like you have a blank slate, I guess. So what does it take to develop the local economic community? How do you do it? Like, how do you attract a business of, let's say, 200 employees who wants to make a widget, right? What's the process?
So I'll maybe start, and then Al, you can jump in if you have some comments. But I think that the biggest thing to know about economic development is it's not necessarily a project. Like, we don't say, okay, we're going to go and we think that we should go and attract this company, so we're going to come back and we're going to set out to do that. Right. There's a lot of things that go into economic development. We need to be concerned about, infrastructure. Yeah. Do we have the proper land? Do we have adequate housing? Is our utility infrastructure, do we have the capability to attract certain types of industries? Do we have enough water? All of those are extremely important in considering how we do economic development. As well, we have to look at things like workforce. What is the makeup of our workforce? How are they educated? Do we need to work with local educational institutions to be able to fill gaps so that we can attract certain industries? And then there's also, which I like to say, that industry development is really the heart of investment attraction, economic development, because in order for us to understand what we want to attract, we have to be able to understand what we have. So it's understanding our business and industry, what are their issues? What are the issues and challenges? What are the gaps they have in supply chain? And what do they see as the opportunities? And when we can understand all of that, then we can look to investment attraction it's like a puzzle piece, right? It's like putting together a puzzle. We have we know what we have, and we now have to figure out what's going to fit best with what we've got. What are those assets that we have that investors and other companies would say, oh, Medicine Hat actually would be a good fit for us? And then we go to those companies and say, would you come to Medicine Hat to invest?
So I guess it's a bit of a two-way street, Al, that you're trying to be attractive to some industries are kind of looking to build somewhere. But then I would imagine, do you occasionally get an industry or a business call you and say, hey, we're kind of interested in this region here. What have you got? Is that kind of how it works?
Yes, that's very much how it works. So just on what Selena said is that we have to look at our assets. We have to look at our advantages. We have to look at our competitive edge that we have on other regions. Because if we cannot offer a business something different and something that they'll be able to work with, it's hard to get a business here in the first place. So based on that, we're in the process of developing a strategy. So our strategy revolves around defense, because of proximity to CFB Suffield and DRDC. We have a well-developed drone industry. So we're looking at the drone business and see if we can attract medium-sized companies here. We are a very rich agricultural area. And so we always talk about value-added food, if we can bring them. Energy transition is going on in the province in a big way. So that's another opportunity area for us. So you have to have a strategy when you go after companies. You want to know what you want to attract. But at the same time, to your point, we're not a Calgary, Edmonton. So we have to be open to opportunities. And so through the networking that we do, we do have companies coming in and saying, hey, we're neither defense, we're neither drones, neither we're value added, but we've got something else. And then we evaluate that opportunity on a case-by-case basis. How much land do they need? How much water do they need? Will they be a good fit for the rest of the industry? And if that's a good fit, definitely we will pursue them, we'll work with them, and try to provide them the services that they need to get established here.
Well, I certainly wish you well, if nothing else, for my benefit anyway. So Al, you did an opportunity tour with the Premier here a little while ago. What was it and what did you do?
So Ian, one of the first mandates I got as I came to the city working with Selena was to raise our profile.
Yeah.
So I was previous to this role based in Calgary, and I had provincial responsibility for the Ministry of Agriculture in the value-added food area. And whenever we used to look at the province, we always had a tough time figuring out where would be the right spot for this business to take, which is the best fit. And so we looked for information, knowledge of the various, what's happening in Grand Prairie, what's happening in Red Deer, what's happening in Rocky Mountain House, and where we had connections. So you know how business works. You're a business person. You always call your friends.
Yeah.
You always call people you trust and people who you know will give you good service. So this tour was exactly about around those two issues. One is to build relationships, and the second was to showcase and raise our profile. So we went about inviting people to the city. And sorry, another very important point was that when you're based in those big centers, you have an idea, but it's just through PowerPoint presentation or talking to a few people. It's always very powerful when you go to a region.
Yes.
So for example, when I went to Lethbridge, I said, wow, look at this place. Look at the people, look at the industries. You drive around the highways, you see the big billboards. So being present in the marketplace was very important.
Yeah.
So we engaged with people who are in the business, who have leads. So example being Invest Alberta Corporation, Jobs, Economy and Trade, Prairies, CAN, the banks, one of them being the TD Bank.
Yes.
So these are the people who are dealing with and engaging with investors. And once we engage with them, we increase our profile. So we planned a tour to get these people in the city. First of all, we gave them exposure to the local businessmen, business people. And we had a mixer in the Whiskey District, social event. We gave them a city tour on our trolley bus, hosted by our Medicine Hat Tourism.
I thought that was a very good idea.
That was, yes, that worked. I mean, the whole tour worked very well. But, when an investor has different experiences, they are enriched with information. If they just go and see an industry, for example, okay, you're manufacturing steel here, great. But what else is going on? So by driving around the city, looking at our history, looking at the beautiful landscape we've got, they got a very good feel of the city. Then we got them into a room in the Esplanade, and we had all our city leaders from energy, from land, talk to these investors and talk to them what our value proposition is. We had a bit of an interaction with them. Then we called our regional partners as we were talking. We're not alone, and we cannot do this alone. We need participation from other economic development agencies, other jurisdictions to work with us. So we had a bit of a social networking event with them. And then it was nice for our Premier to come to town and talk to us, and she spoke very highly of us. And we're very appreciative of her support because she wants the same thing that everybody wants. She wants Medicine Hat to get going. So she talked to the investment community, to the local leaders, to local businesses, and to our city staff, and gave this very positive message about our value proposition, about the opportunity that exists, and what we could do. Finally, we took our delegates for some industry tours. So we took them to Metnex, to see our petrochemical industry. And then we took them to UVAD in the drone business. And Ian, I'll share with you that the comments we received were astonishing. The people said that they have never seen a better organized, a more enjoyable city tour anywhere. And these people have been around the province. They travel for business regularly. So that was very heartening. We raised our profile. One of our delegates says, I want to buy a house here. You know, people don't even know what we have to offer. It was kind of very nice to get those kind of those comments. And now we've got engagement going. So we're going to be talking to these people further, because at the end of the day, we want business here.
Well, and Medicine Hat has a tendency to not blow its own horn in the past. I mean, we have some global companies here: Wedding Star, AutoStar, CanCab, Methanex, Canadian Fertilizer, and there's a couple of other companies, UVAD, Kinetic. We were heavy into the defense business. And yeah, we have Suffield. You know, people drive by it and think, well, what's the fence for? So, is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there anything I've missed? You're obviously not just Medicine Hat. I mean, you're within the region, and you've got ties in with the counties, ties in with the provincial government, and I suppose to a degree there must be some intervention or ties with the federal government and the transportation corridors, and you name it.
Yeah, I think we're doing a really good job of developing our networks, reigniting this department and developing our networks. We are connected with federal agencies, provincial agencies. Our municipal relations are really, really going well. Yeah. They're getting stronger all the time, and that's only going to help everybody in this region. So I think that's a real positive for what's happening. I like to say that, if we look 5 years down the road, we've got there's going to be a lot of changes. Our Medicine Hat and Southeast Alberta is going to look very different. Yeah. We've got the twinning of Highway 3, which is, hopefully within 5 years, it'll be close to being done. And excuse me, that will be a double-lane highway to the U.S. border. So we'll be at the intersection of two double-lane highways. Yeah. Our power constraints are going to be resolved throughout the city. We are looking, our carbon capture hub hopefully will be in operation. We may have Sama Solar, the renewable energy up and operating, and so it's going to look different. We're going to have opportunities and competitive advantages that we don't have right now, and we're going to be able to compete in a different way with other jurisdictions. So it's exciting.
Well, it is. I honestly do feel that your group and the city are going in the right direction. And there's going to be the odd bump. It's going to take a fair amount of work. But no, I can, it's like the mayor said, I can see this city being 100,000 people in 15 years, easily. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure your department will have had a lot to do with that. Hopefully. Yeah. Wow, excellent.
So what I wanted to add from my standpoint, Ian, is that economic development is not a function of one department or one person. It's a team effort. Mm-hmm. And as we've seen in history, cities that have succeeded, countries that have succeeded, it's the people.
Yes.
So what I really want to share is this hope, this message of conviction and optimism. So back to the opportunity tour, one of the delegates made this comment, and that was the most heartening comment for me personally. She said, "You've got the energy, and I can see it." Mm. So that energy that is not just the city working, but the whole everybody, the community working, and believing that we can make a difference, believing that we can become a big city. That energy that I think makes a big difference, because it's like wildfire. Once one person excited, another person excited, and the reverse works too, which we have also seen. So if everybody believes, everybody works together, and to your point, of course there'll be challenges, there'll be bumps in the road, and we lose some deals, but we'll gain more than we'll lose. So that's what I want to share, is that it's all of us, it benefits all of us, and so we have to work together.
Yeah, we need a bumper sticker for Medicine Hat residents that are going out of the area saying, I live in Medicine Hat, you should too.
There you go. Great idea. We have to bring that back to the team.
I'll take a commission.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you for coming in. I wish you well. I look forward to having you back with some crowing your own successes. And if there's anything at all we can do to help you in the future, please don't be shy. Thank you for watching.